When it comes to grooming your dog at home, there's obviously going to be different recommendations depending on the coat type and also the breed. So let's just start with those short, smooth coats like Staffies, Greyhounds, Dachshunds.
Your smooth-coated breeds generally require the least amount of grooming at home, especially if they're going to a groomer regularly. Generally, they do shed a bit, and a lot of these breeds have a double coat, so you want to make sure you're just brushing them a couple of times a week to remove this undercoat that tends to build up. Your DGG silicone brush is fantastic for this. The little nubs will drag out that undercoat and get it all out of there for you. Other than some regular nail trims, it's about all you have to do at home.
All right, that sounds a bit easy. What about washing?
Depends on the dog, really. If they get really dirty, you can wash them up to once a week as long as you're using a really quality shampoo and rehydrating with conditioner as well. But most of your short hairs will only need it probably every month or two.
Okay. Now, what about those that have got short, coarse coats like little Darcy does here? You going to stay awake, mate?
A lot of these dogs shed a little bit as well. There's a lot of variety with your coarse coats, so it depends what you're doing. Some of your dogs will be really good with a silicone brush just to get that coat out, but you might have to go in with a slicker brush as well just to help smooth everything out and kind of separate that hair.
Okay, now also double coats, because this is what the little one's got as well. We need to be doing them quite regularly too, don't we?
That undercoat builds up quite a lot and right at the skin, so you want to make sure you're brushing in layers and doing different sections, and you make sure you're line brushing. So you can use your slicker brush, your comb if you've got any really big knots in there, and your undercoat rake. It's also fantastic for getting that coat out of there.
Okay, good-o. So that's those ones. And then we're going to move on to, what have we got next? There is the wide-haired ones, which I suspect Darcy's a bit of as well.
Some of your wire hairs can get clipped. Some of them just need a really good brush with a slicker brush at home. Sometimes a rake can help. A lot of these dogs actually get hand stripped, but not all of your groomers are trained in hand stripping, so make sure you talk to your regular groomer about booking in this type of service and whether your dog will need it.
Absolutely. Now, what about those with the drop coats, like your Shih Tzus, the Maltese, that can have them really long? Yeah,
you want to be brushing these guys really regularly, and the type of brush you use really depends on what kind of coat they have. If you're not quite sure, you can always talk to your local groomer, but generally, your slicker brush we use a lot with these type of coats, or a brush like this that has a pin brush on one side. The pin brush is really good for preventing breakage, especially if your dog's got a really fragile coat, and you want to make sure that you're brushing them every day, especially if they're kept in a longer trim.
The bristles are hemp bristles here. They're really good at smoothing. I know it makes
They're fantastic for smoothing stuff out.
And then we've got the oodles of poodles.
So you guys need the most maintenance at home. It depends on what type of haircut they're kept in as well. Similar to your drop coats, if they're kept nice and short, you can probably get away with brushing them a couple of times a week or once a week, just depending how short they are. Okay. If they do have a long tail and ears, you want to be brushing that pretty regularly just to keep any mats and stuff out. And a conditioning spray is fantastic for brushing these out as well.
And then we've got hairless dogs.
Your hairless dogs generally still need to be washed pretty often. They have a lot of oil in their skin. Some of them need to be washed because they do have problems with blackheads and skin issues like that. And a lot of them do shed dander and skin cells as well. So you want to make sure that you're being on top of that.
All right, well, I think we've pretty much covered most of them. And also, I'm guessing in between, keeping them nice and deodorised.
Your 4-in-1 spray is fantastic for deodorising between, and your conditioning spray is absolutely awesome to brush out mats, tangles, anything like that, and it also helps add a bit more moisture to their coat if they have a dry coat.
All right, well, you can find the DGG grooming range at local specialty pet stores, as well as PETstock online and in-store. Thank you, Dekota.
You're very welcome.
Did you stay awake in that?
Probably
I'm not sure, and now I'm going to be covered in hair.